wasn't expecting it to be on there.
And we are live.
I mean, I do kind of like this setup. I mean, I like the natural light, but...
No, I like this. It's a lot better to look at than like the one air conditioning thing right here.
Eunice!
Oh, Eunice, how are you awake?
Oh, we're so happy that you're on. Yes. Ooh, good folks.
Yeah.
Oh yay, you didn't forget about us. I got nervous that after one week you would be like, what? There's live still?
I know.
You do have kids.
I know, true. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Hi.
oh, Janelle, hey. Downey's on. Teresa's on. Yes.
No, Teresa, you're up and at 'em too.
Seriously, I will say, like, both of us were like, it was a struggle to wake up this morning. I think there was just so much adrenaline pumping in us after House of Viva last night. Oh, and you've joined, so you can read your comments. I'm like, hey, Yaster.
Hi.
Okay, so before we get into it, of course, thank you guys so much for being on this with us. Yeah, it was so good seeing you as well. But I just want to remind everyone that our table talks are a space for positivity on the web. This is a way for us to start our week in. If we're having any challenges or successes that we want to share, it is a place to do so where there is no judgment, and a place where we build everybody up, and a place where we really work to better ourselves. With cancel culture, I mean, even like the James Charles thing got brought up, everything does, you know? Like, I think with the culture that we live in, where everyone's getting canceled every 2 seconds, or this person's getting called out, it's harder and harder to find a safe place on the internet, and we want this to be that for you. Oh, Nicole, you love it. And it's okay, Janelle, I'm sure you'll see all the pictures, don't worry.
I know,
and
we missed you.
And we want to do another House of Viva. So I guess before we get into it, we'll kind of mention that. I'm sure you'll see like a bunch of stuff happening on social as it comes out more and more. I know we've posted like videos that people took of us, but I think a big part of pride, at least for me, I'm sure for you, is Viva Glam. I think that that's what makes a lot of us proud to work for this brand, and knowing that we work for a company that is actively trying to change the world and to help people. And so we wanted to celebrate that and create an experience for people to come and kind of live Viva Glam.
An immersive experience.
Total, immersive, yes. Yeah, but just like it's something a little bit different, and I will say, like, people showed up and showed out. Like, it was so cool to see so many people, and for those of you that couldn't be here, you were so missed, and it makes us just want to do more of these. Nicole Webb, she did an insane body painting. Chris Moore did as well. Like, it was out of control. Oh, Cassie's on here. She was a part of that body painting. Like, it was so cool to see all the different things just come to life, and we raised $2,000 for the OC AIDS Walk, which will be $4,000 when matched by the MAC AIDS Fund or the MAC Viva Glam Fund. So hands off and bow down to all of you guys. Like, it not only made me proud to work for this brand, but it really did make me proud to work for the Pac West. Like,
our team.
You guys are so amazing.
Yeah.
You, like, just the community that you all create, the amount of like family and seeing people even come with their outside family and with their MAC family. Like, it just was so inspirational, and I like I've been living on a high, and that's why like I couldn't fall asleep last night. I was just like nah.
Up.
Totally.
I know, I was like doing my makeup, and I was like in the main room, and every time I would like do something and turn over, there was just like a sea of people. It was so like, we were so humbled and so honored that all of you guys, like so many people showed up, because you know, we really wanted to create something that was memorable for our teams and for anybody who wanted to come. There was people that like I feel like weren't even like MAC employees, that like people brought their friends and all kinds of stuff. So it was nice to be outside of the store and like spend some time together.
Yeah, because I think that like MAC family doesn't necessarily even mean that you work for MAC. Like, I think so many of our spouses have just been adopted into the MAC. Like, a MAC spouse knows they're a MAC spouse. Like, they'll find the other MAC spouse in the room and like connect on that. Like, friends like of yours that are outside of the brand, they end up just being wrangled into the Mac family because it's so ingrained into who we are.
Yeah.
I must say I'm really I feel like my teeth look so white in this lighting, and I am really enjoying it. No, yours do too. It's like a new backdrop, and I'm living for it.
Well, I'm drinking a giant coffee, so I don't know how much longer these teeth are gonna stay white.
Don't worry, we'll figure with lighting. That's what I'm doing. So I think that I wanted to bring the idea. I mean, it's Pride Month. It's so exciting. Oh, thanks. This backdrop, we had some good selfies being taken on this backdrop last night. But yeah, we made it for House of Eva, but we really don't want to take it down. So I think this might be like the home for our lives for a little while. And
so awesome.
Yeah, 10 put so much time and effort into literally she glue dotted every single one of those pictures back there. Like, she killed it. We can't, there's too much work went in. We can't take it down.
Well, and you made this thing in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
She was like putting the little frame together, and there was like with some tape, and I was like, what is all of this? And just this incredible like Winnie Harlow
we don't know really
situation.
what it is.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
I feel like I could be on like Trading Spaces back in the day. You give me like a $2,000 budget and I will decorate your whole house. Like, I'll find a way to make it happen. But I think that, you know, it's so interesting because I think that I've always connected a lot with Pride because I'm a part of the community, and so it's always been something. Well, it's interesting because I growing up being gay, I always thought of it being something like that made me different, or that people wouldn't make fun of you for. Like, people would say, like, you know, they would use the F word to call people like names and stuff. So it was never something that was seen as a positive almost. And now to think that there's these celebrations happening all over the world, like World Pride is in New York this year. It's the 50th anniversary of Stonewall. Like, people go there to celebrate it. Blows my mind. And like the little gay girl that was 8 years old watching But I'm a Cheerleader would not even get this. And so I think that what's so cool is that Pride's changed so much, and even being at LA Pride last year, like kids are going there because it's the cool thing to do. Like, it's not even that it's gay pride, it's just, it's the cool festival to be at, and it's become like this space where everyone can just be themselves. And so I know, like, was last year your first Pride ever, or just your first one, like,
No, my
participating
first Pride ever, and I got to participate. So the fact that it was like so big, to be honest with you, I had a lot of friends just from like my personal life, and a lot of my straight guy friends were there.
Oh, crazy!
Yeah, so I was like, "Hey, are you here?" And like I would see their like Instagram story and stuff. But I feel like now it's become a place where you can just like be supportive, you know, or like that's, you stand for inclusivity, you stand for equality, so you go because that's how you like show up for what you believe in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. I think it's always nice to get people's perspective on things. Like, it's so interesting because like being there with Mac is a totally different experience than being there by yourself, at least from my perspective. Like, being there by myself, it's just like a time to party and like, you know, like live your best life and like who's headlining, you know? But like, I think being there with Mac really did make you feel like you were part of something bigger.
Oh,
like, I remember going there and like, normally when we have events, it's like about showing people a collection maybe, like there's normally some sort of goal involved. At Pride, the goal was just to make people feel part of it, you know? Like, so if people wanted to dance, that's what you were doing. You were dancing with them. If people wanted to get their makeup done, well, sit down and let's do this. If people wanted to jump in the ball pit, they would, you want a boomerang? I'll boomerang you. You'll remember it forever. Like, people wanted to squirt water guns. Like, it literally, we were just there to make people feel like they were a part of our Mac family, and like, it was a really pivotal moment for me. And I know, like, even speaking to you, you were like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing, and you want to work it again?
Yeah, well, no, one of the best experiences for me, I think, was definitely the march. The parade was, I mean, all of us that were walking together, I had tears in my eyes, I had a ball in my throat, just to hear people, like, screaming when the Mac team was walking down the street, and I was like, gosh, for every single one of those people, Mac probably means something so totally different.
Oh, totally,
and
yeah.
they all have their own experiences with Mac, but no matter what, like, they were so happy to see us there, and it was pretty freaking awesome.
I love it. Jordan was there too. He's
Yes, he was.
I do want to know, like, what, even, I don't think that you have to talk about a pride festival or a parade. Like, what brings you guys pride? Like, even just being a part of the Mac family, or being like, I guess that's the question that I want to throw out there. Like, being a part of the Mac family, what makes you proud? Oh, Natalie. She just got goosebumps. My mom calls them goose pimples. Because I think that working for this brand for as long as I have, every day, like, I feel like I'm very proud to step into our stores and at our counter. Like, you walk through the mall and, like, there's the Wetzel Pretzel, there's Claire's, there's all these places that you've seen a million times, but when you step into a Mac store, it allows you to, like, really be yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, I think about all the stories that you guys have shared with us. Like, even last night, Moises, he told an incredible story, and I filmed it so that we could put it on stories so you guys can see it too. But he just created this safe space for a young boy to express himself, and I'm sure that you all have so many stories of people who came in and they were able to, like, put their shoulders down, raise their head high as they walked out, feeling exactly the way they wanted to. And it makes me so proud to work for a brand that creates that. Creates a space where people can feel safe to tell us their stories. They feel safe to come in with no makeup and be very vulnerable. They come in and let you know what's going on in their lives, even if it's not the best. They come in, like, because things aren't going right, and they are willing to speak to that. And that's stuff that not only the brands created, but you guys create.
Yeah.
And that makes me proud to know that you guys are doing that every day.
Sorry, thank you for talking, because during
I'll let you. So working for a company that cares makes Eunice proud. It's gonna be a hard time for me talking. All ages, all races, all genders feel beautiful. After sitting in our chair, totally, Teresa. Like, I think that, pride comes in a lot of different spaces. Like last night with Viva Glam, I think that I'm sure a lot of you out there, Viva Glam has stuck to your heart. And maybe, maybe with this whole thing with pride, like, it's so interesting because I feel like if you would have looked like 10 years ago, no companies had anything about pride. Like,
No.
When I found a rainbow shirt in a store, I was like, oh my God, I need to buy that right now. Who knows the next time I'm gonna see one. And now, like, in June, it takes over all industries. Like, I mean, last year I really saw it, but this year is on a whole nother level. And it's so nice to see that we have things to show our pride. But I think that what's nice is that the authenticity is that we've always had that. We didn't necessarily need to celebrate Pride Month because it was Pride every day. And like our beginnings, like, we started in LGBT, and we always wanted to create a space where any individual was accepted because that was the best part about them. Sharing your love and passion for people that you surround yourself with. Yes. Oh my goodness. I think that anytime that you get to start talking about something that you really love, it makes you feel really good, but it makes people want to be that much more in your space. Like, I love to hear what people love as opposed to what people hate. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a chismosa and I will gossip all day long. But when you let me know, like, into your soul, what makes you tick and your things that make you so happy, I want to know that, and I want to feed that, And I think that a lot of us can feel the same way.
Yeah. When you talk about, like, what makes me proud to be, like, me, I really think about the stuff that I've kind of been through and the position that Mac was for me and with me through all of that. When I first started at Mac, or before I worked at Mac, I just, right out of high school, just started working. I just was a hustler because I didn't really have the ability not to be. And when I had the opportunity to work at Mac, first of all, the pay was at a rate that I would never have been able to be at that age, for sure, but it provided a means for me to make a life for myself, but also to be supportive for my family, and that was like my number one thing. When I first started working for Mac, my family was in a place where my sister, who was diagnosed with epilepsy when she was 12, she was 10 years older than me, but my parents had a really hard time financially, and they couldn't, they were paying so much for her medical expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew like I needed to step up for my family, and like that's what I did. I like helped pay for her medications every month. And then, as time went by, like things just kind of felt like it was like piling up. But then my brother got older, and he was going to college, and he had this passion to like, for academics. And as a family, we decided like what we were gonna do to support him. So I was working full time, moving up in management at the time, but throughout all of that, I was helping pay my brother's first year of UCR, his like tuition with my dad, trying to support my sister's like medical needs as much as I could, and then also try to like stand on my own 2 feet and like live a life for myself. And what Mac has provided for me was the ability to develop a skill, because before I started, like I didn't know what I was gonna do with my life. I wasn't like good at anything. I didn't have these like talents that I felt like I can fall back on. And learning the craft and skill of makeup allowed me to not only have self-expression, but a means to like make a life for myself.
Wow.
And even like freelancing, having that ability to make money on the side also gave me the opportunity to like, support my parents in a way that I never thought I could. Being able to buy my mom a car, like I never thought that was gonna be ever something that I could do, but having the ability to do so. And then when my sister passed away, and the amount of Mac family that showed up to her services, it just made me feel like, holy crap, like these are not just my coworkers, and these are not just people that I have fun with at work. And obviously I always knew that there was like a strong bond there, but man, like that was pivotal for me.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Sorry, Fred.
I love that. I'm just like, I'm just gonna, I don't mean to do my liner right now. That's really powerful. I think that, I appreciate, like, I think that our brand was created by stories, and so the more that we share, the more we know about each other, the more we can, like, be there for people, and thank you for opening yourself up to this realm. Like, I think that...
But that's why I ride so hard for this brand, because I don't know that any other brand or any other company would have been able to do that for me. So the fact that I had the opportunity to actually like make something of myself, like I have so much pride in all of, like, honestly, if it wasn't for Mac, I think that I would have lived under a rock forever and not really even knew like about the HIV and AIDS epidemic. Like I don't think that I would have had the opportunity to be educated in like what is going on in the world, because it just wasn't in my direct circle.
Yeah, and you had other things going on.
Yeah, I mean, so I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is actually what's happening in the world, and I can be a part of something so much bigger than just like what's right in front of me.
Yeah, man, that's freaking powerful. I mean, isn't it crazy though? Like, I just think, like, I look at Esther and she's like so positive. She's got everything together. She's like this great retail manager, amazing trainer. Like, like I think from the outside looking in, you're just like, dang, like these people have it, and to see all that you've gone through, like, I think that that's what's so cool, is that's what you find a lot with our Mac family, is that you look at these people. I've always looked at Mac people, even before I worked for the brand, with such like admiration and jealousy. But, like I've always looked at them as like these untouchable beings that just look so perfect. And I think that as you get to know everyone, you see all these stories and you see the hardships and the struggles and like the real life that people have gone through. Like, I mean, I think about David at Cerritos. I mean, even like Shalia that just joined in, like the things that people have been through and the people that it's turned them into and that they've maintained. Like, these are some of the most positive people that I've ever experienced in my life. People that when I see them with the brightest, most inner beauty smile. And on top of that, they're gorgeous, phenomenal makeup artists. It's like, how does this even exist? And I don't think that there's a lot of other places where those kinds of people are all here. Like, we work for a brand where our biggest hobby, like our biggest interest is our job. Like, you don't meet a lot of like-minded people like that in one space. Like, normally at your work, like my mom, she works for HR for like the sanitation district. She likes salsa dancing. Who likes salsa dancing here? No one. Like, she don't got nothing to talk about. She's like, did you guys watch Real Housewives last night? Like, maybe they can like connect on that. But we get to connect on like what makes us tick every day. I think that that's what makes us all so close. That's what makes us all not want to like get rid of that, because like, you find your people. This is our tribe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever said that before, but I mean it right now.
Yeah. No, honestly, like I feel like even when it comes to us as a team or any team that you work with, like showing kindness to each other it can look so many different ways, but like even us calling each other out, or like, girl, is something wrong with you today or whatever, it's like because we love each other and because we care and because we share just like a space that is not replicable. Did I say that right?
No, but it's okay. I got you, girl. I got you.
It can't be copied. And so I think that's one of the things that I love to talk about most with, like, you know, I'm like the one that I always go real deep sometimes.
You do. I appreciate that about you though, because I can be very much like, work is work and I'm professional and like we're trying to talk about certifications, but like I do find that when people share, like it makes me, it really humbles me to have people want to share things like that with me, or like to speak about things that are that they're struggling through. And I want to say, like, it was so nice being able to speak with Moises last night, or even hear that from you today. Like, I would love to know more of your stories if you want to share them. Like, I don't want you guys to ever feel like you have to. If it's something that's very close to your heart that like is yours that you want to have alone, you keep that. It's no, you don't need to share anything. But if you want to, like, we would love to maybe go, like, once we're in your stores, like, be able to videotape it, like, videotape. Am I like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone? What is going on? Like, we would like to record it on our phones and be able to put it on our stories and like share our Mac family pride, because I think that that's really what Pride Month does to me, is it makes me think about who I am and what I'm really proud of. And honestly, my biggest identifier, more than even being gay or being an Abraham Lincoln lover, is a Mac artist. Like, I am Alicia and I work for Mac. People know that I work for Mac without, like, we all have experienced it going to Trader Joe's and like being just fine. They're like,
where do you work?
You work for Mac? And it's like, how did you know? But we just have something that like connects all of it. So if any of you would be interested in any of that, please let us know. Because I want, this space isn't just for us, this space is for our whole community. And I think the more that we know about our community and the more empathetic we can be towards each other and the stronger bond we can build, it's gonna be unstoppable. Like, it's incredible. I know a while back Susanna said that like Frank Angelo, he would be so proud that this is where we were in 2019. You know, like the brand that they created, this idea for this inclusive space where anyone can go and anyone, like, you could be your own celebrity here, you know, and like it's really coming true, you know, and that's so cool. I was asked recently, like, what makes Mac different than other beauty brands.
Okay.
And it was so interesting to me because, like, I think with this whole thought, like, I think that my head is just in this space of like, what are we doing here? Like, who am I? But like, I honestly don't even think of Mac as a beauty brand first off. Like, I don't think, like, I know it's makeup art cosmetics, but I almost feel like it's makeup artist cosmetics. Like, it's about the people. Like, I really do think that Mac is about those people and you connecting with them, and because you have this moment with them, you want Mac. It's not because the product is great, but it's not because of that. It's because of those people. It's because of like
Experience.
all that you guys create and being who you are that make people want to be a part of it. And so I don't know. I've always, from an outsider looking in, I would think of, oh yeah, Mac's a makeup brand, but being in it, I don't think of it like that anymore.
Yeah, when I think of, it's like a full-on lifestyle.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, because my landlord, she saw me with my MAC hoodie on, and she was like, I'm going to rip that off of your shirt. I was like, oh, I want it, I like it. And she was telling me if she could go to a MAC store and have the ability to like rep the brand that way, she would be all over it, because I think when you think of MAC, it's a lifestyle, it's a destination, it's like the space that you guys create for people to feel like they can be themselves. Because I think that a lot of people have tried that to create a space and an experience, but I think that, you know, a MAC artist's ability to create that safe place, that zone, it's just something that comes with the name. That's what people like think of, I think.
Well, and I mean, I can only speak for myself. I think that like MAC makes me feel like I'm part of something cool in a weird way. Like I remember, like, I think that you feel like you're part of something that like you're proud to have on you, you know? Like I remember being in high school and like this girl, she like put her makeup bag out, and first of all, like I had like one Wet n Wild thing, but she like dumped her makeup bag and she had all these single eyeshadows that were MAC. She had a Studio Fix, she had different things, and I remember first of all thinking she was so rich.
Yeah.
Secondly, being like, oh my god, she is so cool. Like like what do I do? And like I think that the second that I got my first MAC product, like I wanted to use it every day, because it made me feel like I could take on the world. Like it just made me feel like I was a cooler person. And I think that a lot of products have the ability to do that for us, you know? Like I know, like whenever I go and I purchase like a highlighter that I just know it's gonna change my life. I just know that it's gonna be that highlighter that's gonna make me look like a supermodel. Like as soon as I get in my car, I'm pulling it out and I'm like putting it on my face, because it makes me feel more like I can escape a little bit and like be who I want to be. I don't know.
No, I mean, my sister was obviously the person that introduced me to MAC, because she was all about hair and makeup and fashion and stuff, and so she owned like a lot of the screw off eyeshadows. She wore excess lipstick all the time, and those were like her staples. But I remember the first time I actually went to a MAC counter with only like a $20 bill that my mom gave me to go to the mall for the day, and I got one eyeshadow, and it was like the way that the artist made me feel, just purchasing that one eyeshadow, making me feel like it was an experience for me. Like, I'm so excited to help you find this eyeshadow, and it was just like one thing. It was I mean, obviously life-changing for me, because I was like, oh wow, they don't make me feel like stupid, because I was legit 13 years old with a $20 bill and bought Nightfall eyeshadow.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a darker version of like Night Divine, but like chunkier particles.
Do you still have it?
Ooh, I'm gonna look for it, maybe. But I was like, wow, I could come here, buy really good and nice makeup and not feel like stupid,
like dumb.
Yeah.
I felt dumb even when I first started. I was like, why am I here? I love, Teresa says makeup's off the shelf. MAC is a relationship. It's about like what people want to wear is a part of the connection. We do have a question on when are the palettes gonna be back in stock. We don't know that kind of stuff, but hopefully soon. I'm sure like they're in high demand, so that doesn't help. My first MAC product was C3 and it was $27. Oh man,
oh my God.
That wasn't that long ago.
No.
You're young. Shade stick, swimming.
So pretty.
Oh my god, shade sticks. I remember when I interviewed, I didn't know like much about MAC at all, like which is crazy. And I remember like one of my friends lived for Beijing.
Ooh.
Like wore it as a base every day, like always had it, and she would talk about it all the time. And so I remember actually Parisa was interviewing me, and she was like, so sell me your favorite MAC product. And I was like, oh my god, sorry, our iPad may die at any point in time, so because it's dwindling down. But yeah, I was like, oh yeah, Beijing, it's my favorite. I wear it all the time. And I've never put it on before.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, they have the palettes at Cerritos. I think.
Go and get it.
Oh, and Steven loves shade sticks. Yeah, I think that
Don't talk to me about a cream or stick eyeshadow.
Totally. I'm gonna leave you by yourself for 1 second, Esther, because I forgot something.
Okay, no problem.
Just keep the combo going.
I know shade sticks were bomb. Yes, Beijing and the shade sticks. So, just if you guys are wondering, this is obviously like a little different of a makeup for me, but I am recreating the makeup that I did on my model yesterday, but like the way I want to wear it for myself. I recreated the Nicki Minaj makeup from the Viva Glam campaign that she did, and I kind of took a nod off of like both 1 and 2. But it was, I mean, it's not as pretty on me because her skin, kill me. She was like a perfect NC55, and the way that
beautiful.
that blue popped up, it's just not ever gonna be the same. But I'm trying here. We're trying.
I don't know how, but I had forgot glitter. So weird, not like me.
Jeez. Ooh, my eyes watering. Okay, puts me in my feels watching y'all Savvy. Oh my god, and you watch it like every week.
I know. I love like the people that show up all the time.
Yeah, we have our loyalty.
And I'm excited like to continue these going. Like I will say one of my like biggest struggles is I have really big ideas, but I'm not the best executor. I'm not always the best at follow through. And this has been something that like has kept me consistent. And I was nervous after like the holiday that it would like slow and dwindle down, but I want to keep this going, and I want to keep talking about things that matter. And like I know me and 10 next week are just going to be talking about like how to be like it's gonna be very makeup driven. It's gonna be just us geeking out on makeup and how to keep our inspiration and like getting inside of Ten's head and figuring out like how to get to that space. But I think that there's so many places that this can go, and we are always open to your suggestions, and we want to try to take things a little bit more on the road when available. I will say we have update season coming, so as you guys are coming through the facility, for those that are in Orange County, we may be able to do some fun stuff with you guys here, because we'll have this beautiful backdrop in here, but maybe that's a time when we can have you featured on our stories or something like that. So we would love to have your involvement stay because it's been so awesome.
I'll try to watch every week.
All right.
Okay, sorry. It's like under eye time, so my mouth is wide open and not cute. Uno momento.
I'm just throwing some glitters on.
Never a bad thing.
Oh, you have a good day too, girl. So I think that with Pride, and you said that like you were able to become this person with MAC. How important do you think it is for people to be able to find themselves while working here, like, and find them like, and for the brand to accept them for who they are? Like, how does that make you feel? Like, what is the importance to you?
Well, I think that any good company and good work environment should consist of that. But the fact that MAC values and prioritizes that, I think, is something that you would think that is prioritized other places, but this is where it really exists. You know, I think that it's not only my responsibility, but my team and my management and everybody's responsibility to make sure that I am at my best. And so I think for me, like, I like to, when I have interactions with people, when I talk to artists who are maybe struggling to make their goal or whatever, I always try to get them to think about like what's gonna make it work for you, because the way I did it may not work for you. And I would hate for people to just feel like they have to follow a certain pathway to find their success. Like, that's not true at all. And I think that my Mac journey has really taught me that lesson, is that timing is everything, and my timing and your timing and everybody's timing is different. And it really provides, you just have, like, vulnerability, I think, is really important for us to be able to get to a place where you're okay with that. Because I remember, like, being 18 and I started and I just was like, oh, I'm gonna move up quick. Like, I wanna be a manager by the time I'm 21. Like, I set these goals for myself, and when things didn't work out that way, I really had to learn, like, this is not about me and the goals that I set. It's about the lessons that I learn along the way and what I'm gonna do with that information, you know? So I think that you have to just be open to it, but know that Mac does create a space for you to learn things on your own, do things on your own, but just always be true to yourself. And that's going to, you know, get you to a place where you feel the best and that you found a way to feel successful.
Yeah, no, there's no wrong answers, girl.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even know if I answered the question.
You answered it in your truth. I love it. Like, I think that, you know, it's interesting. I think that all of us, like, I'd be interested to know, like, how much people have changed working with the brand, like what that looks like. Because I think about me 10 years ago, like, I wasn't even 21, and the person that I was, even outside of the brand, like the way that I dealt with relationships and people, and the way that I would take things like so to heart, and I still am a sensitive little baby Pisces, but I have changed so much, and I think that it's been cool to have a brand that stuck with me even when now looking back, I was not my best, you know, like, and so I think it's always, I think that that's why there's people who have been here for so long. Totally, Mac raised me, I agree. Like, I think that it really has, you know, been a space where it was okay for me to find my way through things, you know, like, find out, like, ooh, is that really who I want to be? No. Or, ooh, like, I've been down some paths where I have been really negative and angry all the time, and walked into work just with a chip on my shoulder, and, like, I have been in times where I felt so unmotivated and uninspired, and I've had to really grow and figure out, why is that?
Yeah, what's happening?
What do I own in this? And you know, it took these 10 years to get there, and Mac stood by my side, which, you know, like, I don't know that a lot of places would, and I mean, I think that they got a bomb person out of waiting all that long, but it took them some time, you know, like.
No, totally.
Yeah, oh, I love it. Teresa, more patience and way more yes. Yeah, I agree. I think working for Mac does teach you patience. It teaches you empathy.
I was just gonna say that because when you were saying that, I was thinking about myself. 11 and a half years ago when I first started, and I was a hard ass.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel like I needed to apologize to anybody. I needed to be here. I needed to make my goal. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to make money. Like, it was just that. But being with Mac and working with so many different people and working with customers and, you know, experiencing so many different walks of life taught me empathy. And it taught me how to, like, be there for people and all of that, because I was not that
girl.
way. No, not at all.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that, and it's so funny because, like, I have people that I you know, like, I even think about my girlfriend, and she's very, like, cut and dry, you know, like, black and white, and I think that Mac has caught, like, at Mac, we live in the gray area a lot. We don't live in a black and white world, and so I think that it's made me a little more comfortable being there, and, like, the ability to step into other people's shoes and to, like, not just think about myself, but think about, like, what is this person going through? What's really going on here? Like, I can work with people, like, my ability to work and connect with people is so different. Like, I used to be such, like, a weird hermit. Like, I'm that girl, like, even now I struggle with, like, insecurity and introvertedness, but I think that I'm in a space where it's like I can go to a party and I could, like, have small talk in a way that I never could before. Like, I would have just, like, been drunk with the dog, like, petting the dog at a party before, and now, like, I can actually talk to people, and I really do think that comes from, like, being here and having to talk with so many different people from so many different walks of life, like it's been cool to see. Like, I think that the things that sometimes I like would bog me down about the job has shaped me so much. Those things that challenged me the most really did pay off so much. And it's just crazy to like look back and really look at who you were on your first day once you stepped on that floor and who you are today. It makes me just think like, who the heck am I gonna be in 10 more years, you know? Like,
oh, geez.
I'm excited, but man, yeah. I love Rebecca's on here. Hey, girl.
Oh my gosh, what time is it in Hawaii?
I know, if I was in, I would never be on any of these if I was in Hawaii. I appreciate you guys so much. You have no idea. I'm really sorry if you can see me. I'm being that. I feel like I've been watching a lot of like RuPaul's Drag Race tutorials because it's the end of the season, and so they're all on there. And I feel like same with them because I lick the end of my brush, and that's how I pick up particles sometimes, and I'm doing that, and I feel really embarrassed, but that's how it works for me.
Girl, sometimes a little spit goes along.
You know, it's my brush. It is what it is.
It is just fine. I'm wearing the crustiest lashes, so it's all good.
It's, you know, but I really do. I'm always very curious. From your guys' perspective, like, I love hearing what makes you proud about being here, because I think that that's really what keeps your integrity going. It's what like makes you want to get up and take on another day at this like, I don't know, there's a lot of great things in our job, but I think knowing that you're part of something bigger, knowing that you stand for something that is right to you, knowing that you can authentically be you, I think that that's really where everything changes. And that's what makes this a purpose and not a job. And it's so funny because like we're in retail, you know, and I think that some people don't get it because it's like a retail job at the mall, like, oh, you're working at a makeup counter. It's like, no, you don't get it. Like, I am actively being who I want to be, and I'm affecting people. And yeah, I get to play with makeup because that's the funnest thing in the whole world. Like, come on. But more so than that, I'm getting to really be involved in people's lives and hopefully making their day better, which is really what all people want to do.
Yeah, it's, you know, for me, I feel like Mac gave me a platform to be able to serve my purpose. You know, and whatever that purpose was in the moment, or whether it be my life's purpose or whatever, like, you have the ability to do that every single day. So I remember Josh used to tell me, he's like, why do you make it so deep? Like, why does it have to be so serious? Or I'm like, but it is so deep, and it is so serious because these are actual people that we work with, and I just think like you can't take people for granted, you know? It's so important to like give everybody the ability to speak their truth, or, you know, just be themselves.
Yeah. And it just says that we get to make a difference.
1000%.
Yeah, it's I don't think, like, I think I took that a lot more lightly when I was younger. Like, I didn't realize it, but I think that as I've grown, I do see the depth of it, and I see what you guys do. Like, I hear the stories that you tell us at Update, and I think that, you know, like, it's so interesting because a lot of us aren't braggers. Our brand isn't a bragging brand, so it's not within, like, it's not within us to just be like, look at how amazing I am and what I did. But I think that once someone shares a story, then all of a sudden all these stories come up because you've all been there. You've all been able to affect people in different ways. Maybe it's somebody that, you know, like, you know, didn't feel like they could embrace their identity until they came here and learned how to do makeup on themselves. Maybe it's somebody who, you know, like,
just needed a moment.
Gained 10 pounds and can't fit into any freaking jeans and like has gone to every store in the mall, but makeup makes them feel good, so they came in just to feel good for a moment. Maybe it's that someone has been having like the crappiest day ever and they just needed to like browse in there. It looked like people were having fun and they wanted to feel that for a moment. But I think that there are so many different ways that you guys can't have the ability and have made people feel really good. And I think that that's what brings it all back to Mac being a lifestyle, because in those moments, it's not even just like I bought a product and I felt good. It's that I was accepted into this community, and that made me feel great. It made me like forget about what was going on in my life. Oh, look, Carlton, we were missing you.
I
We
know,
finally
where
got
you
you here.
Um,
Oh my God, we're 4%.
what brings me joy is having the super supportive managers that help me grow as a person as well as an artist.
Oh, that's awesome.
Preach.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that, sorry, I'm just trying to find a 3D star, not one of the gold ones. Oh, it got attached to my eyelashes. When I look back to who I am today, so much of who I am is based on the people that I worked with.
Mm-hmm.
The artists, the managers that have built me up and created who I am. Like, it's so true. Like, it really is dependent on a lot of your team too.
Yeah, your team. I feel like, you know, when I think about when I first started, like that Max Sandburn team like molded this, whoever this is now.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't own more than 10 eyeshadows when I started. And the skills that were developed in me based on like my environment and the people that I worked with, like my gosh, who would have thunk that, almost 12 years later, I can look at an image and be like, ooh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Like that's probably one of the coolest feelings ever.
Totally. I love that.
Yeah.
I think, and I mean, that's confidence there. I think that a lot of what we've done, it's brought us confidence. And when you're a confident individual, like, man, you can take on the world.
Totally.
It's crazy. I can fully say that I was a very insecure, not confident person when I started with the brand. I think that I maybe faked it or tried.
That's why I was such a hard
Yeah,
ass.
the person that I have come into now, it's really come from me making my way through the ropes and like, dealing with challenges and like dealing with those makeups that you were just like, oh my gosh, that was the hardest thing
Never
of my life.
ending, yeah.
Or like putting on a studio tech with a 109 and it bleeding so they turn green and being like, oh my god, what do I do now? And
What's
having to work
happening?
through that.
Yeah.
Like there are so many times that we are challenged, and when you rise above it, not only does it make you feel great in that moment, but it really does let you know that next time, like, I got this.
Yeah.
And then you get to do another one and you got this. And now, like, as this person, like, even last night doing that Boy George makeup, that liner was wanting to mess with me, but I was like, I got this.
It will not
I
win.
turned the lady green with Studio Tech and I came out of that, so I can do this.
No, totally. But I think, what's interesting as you're saying that, I'm like a very common theme amongst our team too is like we're all very like, we see a problem, we like all have our own ways on like how to overcome it or like get through it. Because we really, what we were able to create from paper and tape with this event was just mind blowing.
Yeah.
And when I think about the amount, like, it really wasn't like a whole lot of stuff, but man, like, we pulled it out.
Yeah.
And just like the creative process that we went through to like get to that place was so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's cool to look back. I think even all of you guys should really like take a moment to look back at what you've done. Like I think that so often we're like looking for the next step. We're very, like, a lot of us are very ambitious people, and so we're wanting to see like, what's my next step? What can I do better? Where can I build? But I think that taking a step back and just breathing and looking at how far you come, I think you guys will all surprise yourself in the individuals that you have really been shaped into, and you do a lot every day. And I think that they may seem so small and it's easy to forget
Doesn't
them
matter.
because like you move on, but I think every day you guys do so much. The job of a Mac artist is not an easy one.
No.
It's not one thing that you do. You have so many things involved in your role, and to be able to do that successfully is a talent unlike, like, not many people can do it. And so you should be really proud of that. And I think that it really does, all the stuff that you deal with to as you're a Mac artist prepares you for then all the stuff that you're going to do as a manager. You're basically a small business owner when you're a manager at Mac. That prepares you then to deal with all the stuff that it's going to take to, manage a region or be a trainer and then move forward. And I think that they really are all steps to get you to the next space. But when you look back at what you accomplished in that step, it's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, I want to read this from Natalie really quick. I'll never forget a young boy came in and told me he was coming out and wanted to buy his first MAC products. We sat there and talked and hugged, and this brings me so much joy being able to be there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I will say,
Just being there.
when I was in Palm Springs just recently, my friend Lucas actually just happened to be out there. He was going to Hot Mess in a Dress, which was a charity event for the Trevor Project. And he was like, oh, can we go to the Palm Springs store? And I was like, absolutely, like, I'll meet you guys there. And Natalie and Carlton were there doing some makeup on them. Bless you.
Thank you.
And honestly, guys, they were gushing about Carlton, and they were just like, Carlton and Natalie were so incredible. They were so kind. They were coming in for like, a fun dry eye or lip or whatever. They totally treated them. They said, Carlton, you were so like knowledgeable on just everything. And like Natalie, you were so warm, and they just were so blown away. They could not stop talking about it the next day. And I think that sometimes we don't even know the impact that we have on people. Like, I don't think that you know the impact that you had on that young boy. Like, and of course he impacted you so much. Like, this story it's affected you so much. But like, I think that those moments don't happen in retail. Those moments don't even always happen with people's families, Like, so the ability to make someone feel good and to, like I said, feel safe and appreciated in that moment, like, hats off to you guys.
Yeah. I think just
fighting the good fight.
With life, though, you have to be able to find the one moment that made you feel like you did your job as a human being that day. And that can, honestly, no matter how big or small that is, that's your life that you're living, and those moments you own. So that's what helps me go to sleep every night, Like, my gosh, if it wasn't for the amount of people that we were able to impact on a daily basis as a MAC artist and the people that we meet, if I made one person smile, then it's like I did my job as a person, and you can lay your head on that pillow and feel like you did your job.
Yeah. I love having you on these table talks because you do give me like Super Soul Sundays or what. I could feel these Oprah moments coming out of you. I love it.
It's really messed up because that's actually what I do. I spend a lot of my time listening to a lot of stuff like that because life can just be so complicated sometimes, and when you can just take a moment to like think about it and like go a little bit deeper, I feel like it helps me just to be able to like get through those tough times.
Well, I think too, like, they always say like birds of a feather flock together, but also like the space that you create is really what shapes you. And I think that if you're surrounding yourself with drama and negativity, you can't help but that becomes your norm.
Oh, totally.
And I think that when you surround yourself with positivity and self-growth, like it spews over all the time. Like, I know when I was listening to My Favorite Murder every 4 seconds, I swore someone was gonna murder me every 4 seconds. Like,
I can't get into that
no,
stuff.
I literally would sleep with a knife on my nightstand. Why?
Friend.
I was gonna be able to use it,
I can't
first
live
of
like
all.
that.
But I needed to take myself out of that spot for a little bit and like focus on things that were a little more happy and like good in the world, so that I could like be in a good space. But
no, I agree.
But yeah, I think that sometimes it's just about being that beacon of light, and like I think that when you bring that energy, then I vibe off of it. I'm sure then Nicole and Ten does and Gabby does, and then we create this positive space, which is great. And I think that you guys can also do this at your counter. Like this can be your moment where you get in that headset and then you bring that to your counter. You're that beacon of light, and then it spreads because it's fun to gossip. It's fun to like know what's going on, but I think that it feels good to be happy. It feels good to be positive. It feels good to be working towards goals that make you feel stronger and better. And I think that that's where it can be challenging to stay in that space, but it's where you see the real, I don't know.
It's like the glitter that falls down, like that just.
No, I was trying to think of a word, and then in my head, all I heard was, I believe the children of. I don't know why that was the thing that was coming out, so I couldn't think of any words because that's all that was happening.
It's okay, that's gonna be our outro song for today.
We're just gonna back and forth it. Yeah, I agree. Positivity is so contagious, but like if it's not there, then it's not. There's nothing to contage to, So And I think, you know, like like I said, I'm a Pisces. I can go all the way up or I can go all the way down, you know, and I need people to sometimes help me come out of that darkness. And I think that a lot of us can be that way. We're sensitive artists, you know, and so if you're in that space, sometimes you do need like your people to be there for you, and you maybe just be vulnerable and say like, oh man, I'm in that space, like I need some help right now.
Yeah.
Because I know like I rely on my team to do that.
Oh my God, there's been multiple times where you made me laugh and you're like, ooh, you needed that, didn't you? I'm like, hell yeah, I needed that.
There are so many times where I say something that no one else in the room understands, but you laugh at me, and I need that. I need it all the time. Oh yes, see now I knew I liked you, girl. Pisces life.
Oh my God.
I don't have very many Pisces here with me. I got all the Sagittariuses, so I gotta.
Eileen and Caitlin are Pisces.
I'm just meaning in
Okay,
this
okay.
office. That's why I thrive in this office. But I mean, in the team, in our operations team and stuff, we don't got a lot of those.
No, I think you may be the only one from
The lone fish. But we're coming to the end of this. I think that the biggest thing that I wanted to think is just like, I love all the Pride activation. Your guys' makeups have been so sick. Oh my God, I can't even believe it. But more than anything, I think like, I just want you guys to know that Pride doesn't have to mean that you're gay, that you're trans, that you're anywhere in that community. The community is bigger than that.
Yeah.
And that we are all proud to be a part of this family. And I think that we really need to look at Pride as individuality, acceptance, diversity, and love. And equality and standing for something. Because I think that we are living in a world where diversity is less and less valued. And I think that we work for a brand where it's more and more valued every day. And so I think that we gotta live by that whole thought of like, if someone is different, you don't build a wall.
No.
You build a bigger table and you sit down with them. And I think that that's what we need to do here at Mac. You're welcome.
Good. I'm all
It's not mine. But I think that, you know, like I want you guys just to go out there and be proud of who you are, because you fill a space in this brand that has never been filled before, and that's what makes it so perfect. Be proud to be a part of this family and be shaping it into what you are. We are so proud to be a part of this family with you guys, and really use this month to continue to push you forward, but also like to know that we're creating spaces for everyone to feel that, not just us, because it feels good. So
let's align in our morals and like show up for the things that we believe in.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we love you guys. Yes, support, embrace, don't judge. You know, some people knit, some people judge. We're just gonna love. That's how it's gonna be. So thank you for being here on Monday with us. I needed this. I needed this so much. You like from last night to today, I just feel like so good and so.
All the fuzzies.
I just freaking love Mac. I love you guys. You're the best. So please like take on this week just with all the gusto and have the best time. And if you need any support or anything from us, please feel free to DM us. Like we are here for you. If you need that bit of motivation, we want to be able to provide that. If you want to share any stories, please,
we, hear that.
We would love to come and speak to you and connect with you, because we know there's so many cool ones out there, and I can't wait to see you next Monday.
Yeah.
And for update coming up in June, and if you're in Nordstrom, you're even closer, you're in June. Everyone else is in July. Sorry, I'm too excited now.
It's okay.
Thank you for being on here. I've missed you on here.
I know I haven't been here in a while, so I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you like our backdrop. It will be keeping it for a little while. If you guys ever want to come to the Pac West facility or the OT facility,
all the selfies.
Come take your selfies.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love you guys. We're so proud to be a part of this family with you, and can't wait to see what you guys do. So keep us in the loop.
Bye.
Love you. It's my hand. What?